Welcome back to the Commercial Real Estate Show. I'm Michael Bull. Today we're talking about single tenant net lease investment properties. We have Scott Lindstrom with us. He is with Gerard, and we have Nancy Miller here with Bull Realty. And before the break, we were talking about some of the tenants expanding. Nancy, what do you see out there? I mean, it's always interesting, I think, to people to see what types of tenants are expanding, what's doing well.
Well, the greatest volume that we're seeing is Dollar General. In the numbers that we're seeing year over year, there were about 71 posted in CoStar, which is one of the databases that we use, 71 new properties, and Family Dollar also had, as Scott mentioned, a lot of activity, 39 new properties. The other actives are the QSR, quick service area. Wendy's, the most active. Starbucks, which is an interesting surprise because they've been quiet for years. And then we've got Burger King, KFC, and a little of the Taco Bell. And on the auto sector, Advanced Auto Parts seems to be fairly active. Those are the top guys, and we see less involvement of the banks, not a whole lot of new banks, and some other bits and drabs, and obviously no video stores anymore.
That's right. Well, I'm glad the auto parts stores are still expanding, so I can get parts for my General Lee, my old car I'm driving around, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Are there some new tenants also out there in the space?
Not new, but Starbucks is expanding recently and using some select developers. Hobby Lobby primarily has been an inline tenant, is now looking at doing a lot of freestanding stores, looking to do 50 to 70 next year. So we're working on some deals with them. Once again, I kind of, to reiterate, the specialty grocery has just kind of taken off. There's been huge public demand for I guess a different type of model in that segment.
Yeah, these crazy healthy eaters, I don't they're just everywhere now.
Let me ask a question. What are you seeing about the Walmart neighborhood stores? Are you seeing any of that continuing, or?
I see that continuing. They're one that, one tenant that still is growing. I mean, those deals are fairly tough from a developer standpoint to get done. They're still very thin margins. It's not something we want to pursue. But yes, I see them continue to grow in 2016 and beyond.
Their price point is like unbelievable. They're a 4.5, 5 cap rate is what I've been seeing, which is crazy.
That's interesting. And as you're developing these new spaces, what are you seeing for construction costs? I mean, we hear that labor costs are going are going really high. How's that impacting you?
Well, construction costs over the past 4 years, the previous 3 years, what we had seen was material pricing increasing due to energy costs rising, primarily products, made with oil. Currently, in today's market, as a lot of retailers are heating up and expanding, what we're seeing is the subcontractor base is creating higher labor cost and increased profit margins on that level, overall increasing the construction costs, which now we're at a point with some of our value tenants that the costs are almost too high to actually economically make a deal hurdle. So they're actually walking away from some potential opportunities, and I see that carrying on into next year and 2017.
Well, what's got to give there? I mean, they know what their sales are, and they've kind of had to have a rent range they can afford, right?
They do. A lot of retailers have gotten more savvy on looking at their total effective rent structure being 10% or less of their overall sales forecast, and they're really trying to stick with that. So unless they want to reduce their return on investment, I don't see these deals moving forward, unless they decide to start decreasing their profit.
Well, it's interesting. I think as an owner of land or a seller of land, and when you're talking about a new development, sometimes that's really the only thing that can change. I mean, the end product's going to sell or rent for what it sell or rent for. The construction costs are what they are today. The development costs are what they are. The spreads or margins you need for profit are there. It's the land price that gets adjusted, right?
That is correct.
If you want to sell the land.
That's correct. We've had many opportunities this year to go back to landowners to basically get price reductions to try and make deals work.
Yeah. Yeah, we sell a lot of land, and we hate to hear that, but but it is what it is. So you think these labor costs are going to continue, or as they hire more people, is this going to subside a little bit?
Well, I think after, us being a general contractor as well, the way we look at it is, having gone through that recession before and a lot of construction companies going out of business, a lot of people don't want to invest in the additional infrastructure. They want to be very conservative. It's not to say they're not going to grow the company and to have the ability to go do more projects. They're just being very, very conservative, particularly on the subcontractor level.
Yeah. Well, it's got to be a challenge. I mean, and we're hearing that from the other show guests that we have, the developers and even the REITs that are buying some of these properties, that construction costs are a big problem, even building out office space for tenant improvements today. So, well, we'll hope it does subside a little bit. Well, stay tuned. We'll have more on the single tenant net lease investment market. I'm Michael Bull. Stay with us. The Commercial Real Estate Show is brought to you by Bull Realty, a great place to do business. Xceligent, information for the professionals. And Commercial Search, properties for sale and lease. To access these companies or for additional videos, podcasts, and articles, visit CREshow.com.